Good morning, everyone, and greetings. Welcome to week 9 of the semester. I hope you are well, and I hope you all recovered from your online midterms. I know some of you still have your offline midterms to do, but hopefully most of you have finished your midterms and they all went well. So congratulations on finishing those, and congratulations on completing the Business English 1 midterm last week in week 8. Fantastic, really good. The majority of people did really well. So very pleased for you all. Those of you who maybe didn't do as well as they'd hoped, don't worry about it. Midterm was only 15% of the final grade. So there's plenty of time and plenty of grades to make up if you feel maybe you could have done better in the midterm but didn't. But in general, most people did really well. So congratulations for that, and please don't worry if you didn't do as well as you'd hoped. Also, thank you for the week 7 forum posts about Davis Miller, the advertising agency, and the stress management. Really well done too. Really enjoyed reading through those. It was great to see again that everyone, all the peers and all the other students are really reading other people's and commenting on the good posts and good ideas in different posts. So that's great. Keep doing that. Keep learning, keep developing your writing, and keep developing your kind of ideas by looking at other people's ideas, because it's a great way to learn from each other. Not just from me, learning from each other, and so many great ideas in there, and how to manage stress, and different ways to look at it, looking at it as a company scale, looking at it as an individual, looking at it as smaller scales. Really well done. So thank you for that. Okay, so week 9, just a reminder, obviously this video is going to talk you through the topic we're looking at today, and it's going to give you some ideas and different suggestions, but that's all it is. It's a talk through. So just a reminder, access all the teaching materials that are there, the pre-reading, the extra reading, the PPTs, the forum posts, access them all. The book, there's more questions in the book. So, really access all of those teaching materials and get as much as you can from the unit. So this unit today, we're looking at products today, which you can find unit 12 in the book, and page 112 in the book. So that's the unit we're going to look at this week 9. Talking about the pre-reading. Hopefully you did the pre-reading that I posted in week 7 about the topic of products, and again then you'll be familiar with some of the language, some of the vocabulary that we're going to use, and some of the ideas, just looking down some of the good vocabulary related to products. I like to intangible products, tangible products, primary products, manufacturing, service sales, consumerism, traditional industries in different countries. There's a lot of great ideas in that pre-reading. So hopefully you've read through that and you're familiar with some of the terminology that we're going to use throughout this unit. Okay, so this unit, as I said, is talking about products. So let's make a start. Let's get started and let's look at what we're looking at this week. So we're going to talk about different products. We're going to look at presenting a product, which is going to come in very useful later on in the course, I think. And we're going to look at preparing a product presentation, which again is going to be very useful for later on in the course. So let's make a start. Let's get started. So what do you think a product is? Again, it's looking for a definition of what you think a product is, and I think this is where the pre-reading really helps you, because there was a lot of ideas, a lot of talk about different kinds of products within that pre-reading. So have a think, make some notes, jot some ideas down what you think a product is. Put them in your notebook or write them in your book, wherever you want to write them. Just brainstorm some ideas. Business dictionary, this is a definition that I liked. Maybe you found a better one. Products, a good idea, method, information, object or service created as a result of a process and serves a need or satisfies a want. I like that definition. Again, if you refer back to the pre-reading talked about tangible, intangible products, primary products, manufacturing, sales, services. So I think this definition really covers all of those different kinds of products. And again, it's got to satisfy a need or a want. And that's why it's created. So I really like that definition. Maybe you found a better definition. If not, use this one. I think it's good. But maybe you can think of your own definition, one that you think is better and really encompasses the ideas of what you think a product is. Okay, so once you've got your definition and you're happy with it, let's move on. So we got first question is, what verbs can you think of that come in front of the word product? And there's a lot. So let's have a look. So we got invent a product, manufacture a product, produce a product, ship a product, distribute a product, sell a product. There's so many. So again, get your notebook out, think of some of those verbs, things that we do with products. There's so many. So because products is such an important part of business, there's so many things that we do with it. So again, get your notebook out, get your journal out, and see if you can brainstorm 25 verbs and things that we do with a product. Again, if you're struggling, check the PPT. There's lots more answers and ideas on that PPT for you. So when you finish that, you can look at these questions from the startup section on page 112A. We've got 3 questions there. What are your favorite products? Why do you like them? Which could you not do without? Okay, so some of my favorite products, I would guess, everyone says a cell phone. I would be a bit more specific when I'm talking about my cell phone. I would say the camera on my cell phone and the chatting apps, Kakao Talk, video conferencing with Skype, I think those are a couple of my favorite products. Unrelated to a cell phone, I would say my fishing rod is probably my favorite product. If we're talking about like food and drink, maybe Hanu would be one of my favorite products related to food. Drink, probably beer would probably be one of my favorite products. So see if you can get your favorite products under different kind of categories. Food and drink, maybe leisure, electronics. See if you can split your favorite products into these different categories. Why do I like them? Well, I guess Hanu. Why do I like it? It just tastes good, doesn't it? Makes you feel good. Satisfies a basic human need for food, but with a little bit of luxury and quality. Beer. Why would I like beer? Well, I think it helps you relax. Maybe it reminds me of a lot of good times. I would link beer to a very social things. So I guess I associate it with quite good times, meeting friends and parties. Why do I like my fishing rod? Well, it's what I do in my free time, my leisure time. So again, it's something that I associate good qualities with, relaxing, free time. So there you go. There's just a few ideas for some of my favorite products. You're going to have completely different ideas. So again, write them down, jot them down, see what ideas you come up with. What could I not do without? Well, the products I mentioned, Hanu beer fishing rods, I think I could do without them. It would take some of my enjoyment of life away maybe, but I could do without it. The video conferencing, yeah, I don't think I could live without that now, because it's a way of communicating with students in my work. It's a way of communicating with my family in England, my family here in Korea. So yeah, I think I would find it quite difficult these days without my the chatting apps on my phone. I could do it, but it would make my life increasingly difficult. So there you go. There's just a few ideas for me. See if you can work through that yourself and jot some of your ideas down in your notebook, or wherever you make your notes. Okay, so once you've finished the startup section questions there, move on. Oopsie daisy. We've got the next startup question. What product would you most like to own? Okay. So if restrictions were not there, financial restrictions were not there, I didn't have a mortgage to pay, I didn't have bills to pay, and Inha paid me a lot more money, I think for me, I think this is what I like to own. I think I'd like to own kind of a motorboat. Why? Again, it will be related to my hobby, which is fishing. I feel like I'd be able to have some good parties on there. I'll be able to travel, which is something else that I really like. It would make life exciting, I feel. I think there's a lot of reasons I'd like to own it. But that's maybe me. How about yourselves? What would you like to own? Any product, if there was no restrictions. And which product would make your life easier? Okay, so I thought about this. Making my life easier? Oh, maybe a teleporting booth. Sadly, the technology's not there at the minute, and it may never be available. But it's something that would definitely make my life easier. But again, technical and restrictions are stopping it at the moment. But when I came to Korea in 2000, there was no video conferencing. There was no smartphone where you had a camera or Wi-Fi or access to the internet. The technology wasn't available then, and now obviously I said it's one of my favorite products that it is now. So obviously technical things can be advanced, and technology changes, and again product development changes accordingly. So I never thought I would be able to talk to. When I first came to Korea, I never thought I'd be able to talk to my family video conferencing while I was walking up a mountain, that I did with my sister this morning, or that I could watch a live stream of my my local football team on the internet. So again, great example of how technology changes and products change as well, and the development of products happens. So there you go. That would be my answer. What would make my life easier? Reduce travel time. How about yourselves? What ideas can you think of products that would make your life easier? brainstorm some ideas and why would they make your life easier. And if technology is a problem, can you imagine the situation changing in the next 10, 15 years? Okay, once you've finished those questions, move on. And still in the startup section, we've got do you agree or disagree with these statements and why? So we've got a number of statements here. Multinationals which manufacture in developing countries help the world economy. Modern technology-based products do not improve people's lives. It is better to pay a bit more for products which are made in your own country. Okay, so there's more as well. You can do whichever statements you want, and remember, there's no right answer here. There's no wrong answer. There's just your opinion. So they're very, very subjective answers. And maybe you're split. Maybe you agree and disagree. If so, think why you do. Modern technology-based products do not improve people's lives. Well, if I'm looking at that, I would agree and disagree. For me, I've already talked about video conferencing and chatting on Kakao Talk and Skype. So I think that has improved my life, and the ability to go on the internet and to communicate better. I think that has improved my life. But I could also look at it as a negative way. Is my daughter is just constantly asking for a cell phone. Whenever I turn my back, she's trying to watch YouTube instead of maybe do her homework, and it's a big stress for me and my wife. So there you go. I can think of some negatives of modern technology-based products, as well as the positives that it brings. Multinationals which manufacture in developing countries help the world economy. Again, it really, really depends on your viewpoint here. For me, I would probably disagree in general. I think often they take advantage of developing countries and exploit differences without really building infrastructure, without investing in the country properly. So I would argue a lot of multinationals, not all of them, but the vast majority are rather exploiting developing countries rather than trying to help them. So yeah, I would maybe disagree with that. And again, the nature of multinational companies, is that the profits are flowing back to predominantly developed countries. So yeah, I would probably disagree with that statement. It's better to pay a bit more for products which are made in your own country. Okay, I mentioned Hanu again. It's a product that I really like, but am I willing to pay more for it? When I go to Costco, I'm usually going to buy American beef because the price difference is so big. Maybe the quality is not as good. So there you go. That's a really difficult one. I'd look at my Korean mother-in-law. She would definitely argue. She would always buy Korean products over a foreign import, even if the price was different. I would look at rice for an example. She always buys her rice from Korea. She never buys it from America, which is a very similar product, much cheaper, but she always pays for the Korean rice because she wants to support her own country. So there you go. There's a lot of different views there and reasons for them. Everyone here is going to have a different kind of view, different ideas. So again, write them down, jot your ideas down, make some notes. When you're happy, you feel like you've answered all these questions and you've got your reasons behind your choices, feel free to move on. Okay, so you're moving on to the vocabulary section, which you can find on page 113, and it says use the adjectives to describe products you are familiar with. Okay, so let's have a look at some examples here. Okay, so you got economic related to the economy, economical related to good value for money. So one example would be skinny jeans are fashionable at the moment. Levi's new range is very good. So there you go. An example of how to use fashionable. Me, I might argue skinny jeans are very impractical for me because I'm a bit too fat to fit into them. So there you go. Maybe there's an example of changing practical to the opposite. So a little bit impractical. Also, I could say Levi's brand are very expensive, and yeah, so they're very expensive brand in Korea. Actually, not so expensive if you go to America and buy them, but very expensive in Korea. So there you go. Some describing products that you know well. Diesel cars are more economical than regular petrol cars. Yeah, a statement that would definitely work in the Korean situation. However, if you go to the UK, diesel is actually more expensive than regular petrol, I think now, because of they put up the cost because it's more, it damages the environment. So maybe diesel cars are less economical than regular petrol cars in the UK. Could be another statement you could make. So there's a few examples. So using these adjectives, try to describe products you are familiar with. Oh, my brain stopped working. Otogi is a popular brand in Korea. Mercedes is a very reliable car. Many people think kimchi is a very healthy food product. There you go, you've got lots and lots of ideas. See if you can describe some products that you are familiar with and feel comfortable using those adjectives. Once you've finished that, feel free to move on and see if you can complete the chart with the opposite meaning adjectives to those in the previous tasks. Okay, so I already gave you an example of that when we talked about skinny jeans. For me, I said they're kind of an impractical product rather than a practical product. So see if you can complete the table. So there you go. First one, done an example. Attractive, opposite, unattractive with the prefix. See if you can work out the verbs that go with the prefix in and in. Okay, once you're happy with those, move on. See if you can complete the sentences with the correct words from exercise, vocabulary exercise on page 113C. So first one, done for an example for you. IBM manufacture high-tech computer products. There you go. Work through the list, see if you can finish all the sentences using the words in the book, the vocabulary in the book. Okay, then we've got more verbs. It's big verb party today in the vocabulary section, and you've got to match the verbs to their meanings. So let's have a look. First one, done as an example, design, to make a plan or drawing. There you go. Work through those, match them up to their meanings. Again, just looking at the book, there's more vocabulary exercises you can do in there. If you want to do it, work your way through those as well. This is just the minimum I'd like you to work through. Once you've finished, feel free, check your answers in the PPT. All the answers you can find in the PPT. Okay. So, moving on to the listening exercise about favourite products. You can find that on page 114. Okay, so listen to James Wallman, editor of LSN magazine, a lifestyle. Oh, sorry, it's not it's a lifestyle news network. Sorry. Listen to him talk. Listen to James talk about what makes a product great. Then complete the notes below. Again, you can listen by clicking on the speaker.
What makes a product great? The 3 or 4 things I would look for in a product.
Have a listen to James, see if you can complete the answers in your book. Again, you can check the answers in the PPT. Once you finish that, move on, listen to him again, and circle. He's going to talk about an exciting product, and there's a little passage here, but there's some mistakes there. So see if you can circle the mistakes after listening to James. Again, check your answers in the PPT. Then he's going to talk about his favourite product, hopefully like we talked about before, and his reasons why it's his favourite, okay, and what he uses it for. Exactly the kind of things I asked you to do in the previous PPT slides. Okay, so again, listen to him by clicking on that, pressing play.
What's your favourite product and why?
Listen to him speak and fill in the missing information. Check your answers in the PPT. When you're finished, move on. Have a look at the language section about passives. Again, we won't spend too much time on it. There's some reading to look at on page 152 that explains about passives. There's some exercises to work through too, if you wish to do them, which I recommend you do have a look at a brief look at them. Okay, when you finish that, moving on to the skills section about presenting a product. Very, very good unit this, section this, because all of you will be doing a presentation at some point this semester. So really, really good tips, good ideas, good language in this section. So spend a little bit of time on this. And here, what sort of presentations have you previously given? So have a think what presentations you've previously given. Maybe you've given them in a work environment. Maybe you've given them in an academic environment, such as in a university, high school, wherever you've been studying. Maybe you've given presentations in social situation. Maybe for your soccer team, if you're the captain or manager of a soccer team, or coaching children. Maybe you've got part-time jobs where you've given a presentation. See if you can think, what sort of presentations have you given? Who were they to? What skills did you use? How was it successful? Maybe could it have been improved? What things didn't go so well? See if you can brainstorm some ideas and think about your previous experience of giving presentations. Once you're finished, moving on, listen to a sales manager presenting an ice making product to some buyers. Have a listen, but same as the previous listening exercise. Click on it.
I'm going to tell you about our new product, a fast ice cube maker for use.
Have a listen to the lady presenting that product and see which of these adjectives she uses. Really great descriptive adjectives to describe products there. And which ones does she use? Give them a circle. Listen maybe 1 or 2 times and then check your answers on the PPT. Then have another listen and see if you can finish these sentences with the missing word. Okay? First one's been done as an example. It has several special features. As you can see, it is stylish, and elegant. Listen again and see if you can complete the missing language. Some really good descriptive, really great ways to describe products in a presentation there. Okay, so then we look at the product presentation structure. And have a think. What things should you include when you're presenting a product to an audience? What did that lady describe? Obviously, a description of the product is one thing that she described. If you're talking about James in the previous listening exercise, and when he was talking about his favorite product, he talked about its uses, how he uses the product, why he needs that product. Maybe those are some things you could put into it. So again, make a list, jot some ideas out. What kind of things do you think should be included when presenting a product to an audience? When you've got a good list and you're kind of happy with it, see what ideas you get. Maybe you can fill this one in. For me, I was thinking introducing yourself, why you're talking to someone, who you're from, what is your connection to that product. Are you selling it? Are you the designer? An introduction of yourself would be something that I would recommend you start with, and I think you can build it up and make lots of different elements to your product presentation. Again, you can look on the PPT and see what ideas I came up with. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree. Okay, there you go. Some really fabulous language there. Language to introduce a product, describe a product, state the product's uses, listing selling points, referring to benefits, inviting questions. Again, and that's giving you a structure right there of maybe some things you could put into your product presentation structure. So yeah, there you go. Have a look at this, come back to it. It really will be useful later on in the course. Some great language there when you're giving your presentations. Okay, so once you're happy, you've worked through the skills section, you can move on to the case study this week, which is the George Marshall Awards case study. And this is what we're going to work through, and again, this is what will lead to the forum post at the end. So, a little bit of background. The event is the George Marshall Awards. It recognises innovation, creativity in developing, marketing and launching new products. At the end, the awards badges for products that appeal to customers and boost sales. So that's what the George Marshall Awards are. And what you need to do to kind of win one of these awards is select a product from page 119. So you got some products there. You got a musical keyboard with lighted keys, key finder, business card scanner, password, memory file. There you go. Got some ideas. Maybe you think they're a little bit boring. Maybe you want to create your own product, make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, so there you go. So you can select one of those 4 products, or you can create your own more interesting product. And what you need to do is prepare an outline summary for a product presentation to persuade your audience that your product is innovative and creative. Okay, so what you need to do is create an outline, a summary of how you will present a product, basically, to show it's innovative, creative, and worthy of winning a George Marshall Award. You can invent any information you wish, any statistics, anything that goes, you're going to put in there. You can create. It doesn't have to be true, or maybe you can find true data on the internet and put it in there and source it. That's completely up to you. You need to consider the presentation format, how you're going to structure it. Okay. Again, remember, it's an outline. It's a summary. Okay. You don't need to write everything you're going to say. You just need to write the sections, kind of a brief little maybe information you're going to put in there, how you're going to make it interesting, maybe if you're going to do a product demonstration, how are you going to demonstrate that product, where are you going to demonstrate it within the presentation. That's the kind of information I'm looking for, not lines and lines of speaking. What you're going to say, a brief outline summary of what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, and which areas you're going to say it, and what you're going to do. That's what I'm looking for in this case study. Again, consider the presentation format. There you go. There's maybe a format that I think is good. Introducing yourself, then moving on to the aims of the talk. What are the aims? Outlining the presentation. So what are the different areas you're going to talk about? Introducing the product that we've kind of already listened to, and how to introduce it. Maybe in there you could, instead of when you're introducing it, you could do a product demonstration or product trial and pass it to the audience for them to try. If it was maybe a new drink product, you could have samplers. If it's if it was a new mixing machine, you could maybe have a demonstration of how it's how you would use that product and the different things it can do. Home shopping, again, watch it. Go and watch a home shopping thing. They're amazing at presenting products. They do it so well, and demonstrations. Steal some of those ideas from the home shopping. How would you describe the product? What's its uses? List its selling points, refer to the benefits, summarize the main points, invite questions, end the presentation. How would you end the presentation? There you go. There's so much, so many different formats you can use. You could use that format. You could take some of those ideas out. You could put some of your new ideas in. How are you going to structure it? What you're going to say within those different areas. That's what this case study is really about. And jot your ideas down, make some notes, Maybe you could do various products, maybe more than one product if you wish, and you could vary the structure of it, vary the format of it, vary what you're going to say, how you're going to present it. Maybe you could make a few. That's completely up to you, okay? But what I'd like you to do is work through that and show some of these points in the presentation. So products should show originality and creativity. It should improve a customer's lifestyle. Maybe it should be more environmentally safe. It must be profitable. So there you go. You could present on who's the market share, who is your target consumer, how much are they going to spend on it, forecasted sales. There's so much you can talk about through these points and add them into your different structure of your presentation. Interesting or exciting use of technology. One thing I would say on that point is try to keep it realistic. So previously in the PowerPoint slide, in this video, I mentioned about teleportation would make my life easier. Yeah, it would, but I don't think the technology is probably going to be available for in my lifetime, or maybe even your lifetime. So try and keep it feasible, possible in the realms of maybe technology we have now, or you can see developing it in the next 15 years. Okay, so some points to bear in mind with your presentation, and add to it. You could have an environmental section. You could have like forecasted sales, profitability section. So there you go. So many different ways you could structure a product presentation. And all of this is rolling into this week's forum post. I think quite an interesting one this time. So on this week's forum page on iClass, write an outline summary of a product presentation to persuade your audience that your product is innovative and creative. Think about your presentation format and any information you wish to put in the presentation. So, like the case study we just talked about, it's exactly the same. Maybe if you've done a couple of different presentation structures and ideas how to present it, just choose one and write it down on the forum post. Remember, I'm not looking for lines and lines of writing here. I'm looking for a brief outline, summary, and bullet points of what you're going to do in the different sections, and maybe information you might be able to get in there. Okay. Again, once you've done your forum post, everyone else will be able to look at your post and ask further questions or make some comments on it. Again, I'll do the same. I'll read them all, and I'll try and get the ball rolling, write some comments, and then you guys, like you've been doing fantastically well, take over and get in there, say what you like about people's different posts, and really, take the positives out of everyone's work, about different ideas. Keep it exciting, keep it interesting, okay? And obviously this one is so varied because you can choose your own product, create a product if you wish. Hopefully it should be really, really interesting. Please guys, don't just do cell phones, a new kind of cell phone, or everybody does makeup remover. Again, think about the definition of what a product is. Tangible, intangible products. It could be like a service. It's so varied this. So it makes for a really interesting forum post, I think, and case studies. And if you like it, if you think you've done well on it, you could use the work as your writing assignment. Again, we're getting closer to that deadline week of week 14. This is another writing option. If you like it, you can maybe develop your forum post into your writing assignment. As a member of the selection committee for the George Michael, he's a singer, a famous British singer, George Marshall Awards, write a short report on one of the products you saw presented. So again, you could base it on somebody else's forum posts and write about that product and a little report on that product. Again, page 129 is an example of a business report. Very, very, very basic. I'm looking for a really high quality piece of work. And remember, I need one writing assignment by week 14. We've done a few already. Maybe some of you have already finished your writing assignment. I'm looking forward to reading them in week 14. But remember, you've got to choose one writing assignment before the end of the course and give it to me in week 14. That's it, guys. No more work to do. Nothing more to talk through. Again, access all the teaching materials that are on iClass now. There's plenty for you to work through, read through. Write on the forum. Get your outlines of your product presentation on there, and let us all read them. That's it. That's it for this week, week 9. Work through the PPTs, work through the book, and I look forward to reading the forum post later this week. That's it, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching the video, and good luck with all the work this week, and speak to you soon. Okay, bye, guys.